stop. You were looking for a reason to pull this vehicle over. Is that correct?
He'd already told me that he was going 90 miles an hour, but I try to develop my own probable cause when I can.
And he told you anything about what he believed was in the car as far as types of drugs or contraband or amounts or anything of that nature?
No, sir, not that I recall.
All right. And the body cam video activates when the lights went on?
Yes, sir.
Right. Did you ever walk up to the driver's side of the door and ask for a driver's license or anything of that nature?
I think the video showed me walking up to the passenger side.
Okay. But do you recall ever walking up to the driver's side?
Not that I recall.
Okay. But between the dash cam and the body cam, that's going to show everything that transpired from the stop or getting off that exit.
Yes, sir.
On forward, okay. Now, as far as him following too close behind the vehicle, that's because when he came off the exit, he was within 2 car lengths of the vehicle in front of him?
Yes, sir. He was within 2 car lengths, and if you can even see in the video, it looked like he was within 1 car length.
Okay. And when you ask about the speed, he said he was following a blue car, and he didn't say he was speeding, did he? He said he didn't realize it.
He just didn't realize it, but he did agree with what I was saying.
Okay. And you advised, either you advised Agent Bargatsky or you were talking to yourself when you said, I'm going to light him.
This is Trooper Bargatsky.
I'm sorry, Dark Angel.
I mean, he may have been talking to himself.
Agent Dark Angel, I apologize, Trooper Bargatsky. We don't usually deal with Bargatskys and Dark Angels in court, so. But between the two, I think Bargatsky's better than being a Dark Angel, so. When you said you were going to light him up, were you talking to yourself or to?
Yes, sir. It's a common practice. I talk to myself.
Okay. Well, and you know your recorder's on.
Correct.
It's a good way to keep an audio record at least.
That's correct.
All right. Overall, he was cooperative with you.
Yes, sir.
And the best you can tell, he shot pretty straight with you about what was in the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Did you question him any more about what was in the vehicle, other than what we saw, that conversation? Did you question him later on, either recorded or not recorded, about what had happened in Nashville or what he had in the vehicle?
No, sir, I did not.
And was he taken from the scene of the arrest by a drug task force?
I took him from the scene of the arrest to their office.
Okay. And did you go in and participate in any of the questioning there?
No, I don't think that I did.
Okay. Did you ever advise Mr. Huggins of his Miranda rights?
Not that I recall.
If you did there at the scene, it would be on there somewhere.
Yes, sir.
All right. And when you're asking about the target car license tag, are you saying you would have pulled him over even if you hadn't seen him following too closely or speeding,
Yes, sir.
based on the information you had received from Agent Dark Angel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is there a reason that you like to go ahead and try to verify some probable cause?
It's
Yourself?
just my common practice.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect.
Just briefly, Judge. Just to clarify the question that was asked by Mr. Lockhart, you testified that you received information in regards to the speeding of over 90 miles an hour from Agent Darkangelo. But did you also receive information about his surveillance of a drug transaction?
Yes,
That he
ma'am.
had been observing in the unmarked car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was prior to the stop?
That's correct.
Okay. I don't think I have any further questions. Thank you.
Need a recross?
What details did Agent Darkangel give you in regard to what he suspected to be a drug transaction?
He gave me that he had been watching the house. He had been watching this target vehicle. He didn't know who was in the car at the time, but he watched a transaction take place.
What did he describe as far as the transaction?
It looked like that somebody walked out to the vehicle with a bag in their hand, placed the bag into the car, handed it to him, and then the car later left.
Okay. And also advised that that vehicle was doing some 92 miles an hour,
It's not 90 plus.
90 plus, and did he advise if that was in Davidson County or Cheatham County or Williamson County or where?
I don't recall.
Okay. But to your knowledge, it was not in Dixon County.
I don't recall what county it was in at the time that we were there.
If you received a call from another county that someone is speeding, do you normally follow that vehicle and then pull them over for speeding in another county?
Can you say that one more time?
All right, let's say you get a call from whether it's a TBI agent or a road deputy that somebody was speeding in Cheatham County on I-40 doing in excess of 90. Would you normally find that car and pull them over in another county?
If it was credible from another officer, number one, and number two, yes, it could be common practice. I've been known to follow cars that continue to observe their behavior.
Based on being contacted about speeding?
Being contacted about speeding or other items, right, other investigations.
And I understand other investigations, but just speeding alone, do you typically follow cars where you've received information from another county that that vehicle was speeding in another county?
Yes, when it's from another credible officer.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Sergeant. You may step down and have a seat in the courtroom.
Your
Call your
Honor.
next witness.
And Your Honor, may he be released if he wishes?
Yes, you're released if you need to go about your work.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the state would call Special Agent Paul Darkangelo.
You'll raise your right hand and be placed under oath. I do.
My name is Paul Darkangelo.
And where,
Darkangelo.
and where are you employed?
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
All right. How long have you been employed by the TBI?
Since 2019, August.
All right. And are you assigned to a specific area or just through the TBI?
I'm assigned to the 15th Judicial District, and then also as a task force officer for Homeland Security investigations.
All right. Were you working back on March the 6th of 2023?
Yes, I was.
What were you doing that day?
We were conducting an ongoing long-term drug investigation.
All right. And where were you conducting that investigation?
That particular day, we were doing surveillance on a known target's residence in the South Nashville area.
What did you observe at that, I guess you said it was a home, or was it an apartment complex? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Yes, ma'am. It was a house, and if my memory serves correctly, it's 755 Alloway Street.
Okay. What did you observe there?
We had got information that our target that we were investigating there was involved in or planning to conduct numerous drug transactions that day. Myself and other agents, investigators had set up surveillance on the residence and observed our target meet with several cars and conduct what appeared to be drug transactions.
And do you know if at some point whether or not one of those target cars involved Mr. Huggins?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the first
Did
part?
one of those target cars that you observed involve Mr. Huggins?
It did.
And I realize that you may not have known his name at the time, but did you observe him in some sort of a drug transaction?
Yes, ma'am. I couldn't see him personally in the vehicle. I could just tell that the vehicle was occupied by the driver, obviously, and he pulled up in front of our target residence.
Did you see any exchange?
Our target of our investigation walked out to his vehicle and had something in his hands, pointing through the window. They engaged in conversation very briefly and conducted what appeared to be a drug transaction to the passenger side window of the vehicle, and then the vehicle soon drove off.
Did you get the tag information from that vehicle?
I got the tag of the vehicle. I can't recall if I got the information back, like if we ran the tag at that particular time, if it was at a later time.
Okay, but you knew what the tag number was, correct?
Yes,
And did you follow that vehicle?
I did.
How far did you follow that vehicle, if you recall?
I followed it all the way up until the trooper stopped the vehicle.
Okay. Did you observe any traffic infractions during that time period?
Yes, I did.
And what did you observe?
Once we were out of the downtown Nashville area and onto I-40 West, the driver of the vehicle began driving very erratically, driving in excess of 90 miles an hour, and in my opinion, an attempt to elude my surveillance of him.
Okay. Were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
No, ma'am.
Did you have blue lights available?
No.
Did you reach out to any other agency to try to stop this vehicle?
I think one of our other investigators attempted to contact Metro Nashville Police Department. They advised they didn't have anybody available to assist.
Okay. Did you ultimately reach out to the state trooper?
Yes, ma'am. Once they advised that they didn't have anybody to assist, I contacted Highway Patrol and requested a trooper to assist us in that traffic stop.
All right. At this point in time, you had information to believe that Mr. Huggins, or at that point, I know you don't know who he was, but the driver of that vehicle was in possession of narcotics.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Let me ask you this. Did you have any other prior information that Mr. Huggins would be coming that day to that home?
Yes, ma'am. As part of our long-term investigation that we were conducting, we also had a court-authorized wiretap on a target telephone. We had received, intercepted a phone call and text messages or text messages indicating that a individual was coming to Mr. Gleaves' house, which is our target in Nashville, to purchase narcotics.
And was that individual ultimately determined to be Mr. Huggins?
It was.
Okay. And did he make statements on that wire that you were able to view or listen to that requested drugs?
Yes.
Did you interview Mr. Huggins
Yes, I did.
on this date, March 6, 2023?
Mr. Huggins, you observed the video and listened to the audio that's been shown today.
Yes, I have.
Based on what you've advised me, do you believe there are some discrepancies and/or things missing in the video of your stop?
Yes.
If you would explain to the court what you mean by that.
Well, what was showed tonight and what we have on our CD shows in two totally different things.
Okay?
On the CD we watched right here, it shows the trooper driving down the road, and then he gets out and goes to the passenger side of my vehicle. But in our video that we have, he's driving down the road doing 45, and he slammed it. It shows him slamming it in park. Then it shows him jumping on the phone to the TBI agent. Then it shows him getting out, going to the passenger side of the vehicle. But that's just what it shows. But there's about 4 minutes of an interaction that me and the trooper had that it don't show on there. That's been cut out. It's been edited.
What is that? What is missing?
When he pulls me over, he got out of his vehicle. He came up to the driver's side car. He said, "Sir, the reason why I stopped you was when you was coming off the exit ramp back at the 96 exit, I observed you following a car too closely." And I said, "No, sir. No, sir, you didn't. I know exactly where you was at. You was 2 miles behind me. I seen you turn your blue lights on and off." I said, "And when I come off the interstate, there was nobody in front of me, but you didn't see me come off, and there was nobody in front of me when I came off the interstate. So try again." He said, "Well, the second reason why I pulled you over tonight is I paced you doing 49. And I said, "No, sir, there's 2 cars in front of me. There's no way I was speeding." I said I was doing like 45, 46 miles an hour because I got 2 cars in front of me. And at that moment, he walked away, went back to the vehicle, got back in his vehicle, and then it was, 4 or 5 minutes later, he gets out, and then he comes to the passenger side the second time, and he walks up and he says, "Well, as I said before, I paced you doing 55. And I said, in which he squats down, beside the car. So you can't hear what I'm saying because he squats down and his body cam can't pick it up. And I tell him what I exactly tell him because, they said they couldn't hear. But exactly what I told him is I said, well, we just went through this just a few minutes ago because you told me I was doing 49 and told me I was speeding. And now you're saying I'm doing 55. I said, we just went through this. And I said, and I wasn't doing none of that. So I don't know why we're having this conversation again.
All right. Anything else? Well, let me ask you this. Do I have a copy of that part of any video?
Yes, that's what we have, like,
The driver's side?
no, that's
Okay.
that's what's been excluded. That's what was not put in there.
Anything else about the video that we've seen or not seen that you need to tell the court?
Yeah, when I had Tyler Howard as my public defender, and he came over to the jail, and the first CD that me and him watched together, it was different than the CD that me and you got now. And when you became my attorney, I told you to get that CD from Tyler Howard that he had got, presumably from the DA's office, because we needed to watch it. So when you took my case, you went and got my files from him, and you asked him, well, where's the CD at that you had for Mr. Huggins? He proceeded to tell you, I don't know what he's talking about. So then you got this CD that we have in our possession now, and when me and you watched it, the first thing I told you is this is different than the first CD that Tyler Howard had. I said, this is different. I said, when it shows the trooper doing 45 and then all of a sudden slamming it in park at 45 miles an hour, I said, you can see that that's being tampered with. I said, but that wasn't in the first CD that Tyler had. And then as we watched it, and he comes to the passenger side, well, in the one that my public defender had, he says, well, as I said before, I paced you doing 55 miles an hour. That's what was said in the first one. Then in ours, when we was watching it, he walks up and says, well, I paced you at 55. Like, there's big discrepancies in all of that.
All right. And moving on to when they took you to the drug task force, we'll look at a copy of the Miranda waiver and the consent on the phone search.
Yeah, I've got them in my possession right over there at the table.
Right. And did you sign both of those?
I signed the one for my telephone. That's the one that I signed.
All right.
That whatever signature that is on the Miranda waiver, you can clearly look at the one that I did sign that's in black ballpoint pen compared to the other one. You can see that that's not my signature in no shape, form, or fashion. You don't have to be a handwriting expert to see that there's a difference in the signature.
It's your testimony, you never signed any Miranda waiver.
No, because I got a piece of paper over there that was in my motion discovery that was signed by Jeff Ball and some other signature at the bottom. And in there, it says Miranda waiver, it says no. Then when you became my attorney, I asked you, I said, I've got this paper. It was in my motion, about the phone. I said, but where's the Miranda waiver at? And then 2 months later, you bring it to me. So it was a total of 14 months before you was given the Miranda waiver, which is something that clearly states, in my motion that it said, no, there was no Miranda waiver. So if it says that there's no Miranda waiver, then where did this come from?
And you're saying that is not your signature?
No, that's not my signature. I mean, this is my signature right here for the telephone. You can clearly see the difference.
I don't need to make it an exhibit, it's already been.
Well, those two have already been made an exhibit, but if you want to make your copies an exhibit as well, that's fine.
Identical copy.
All right.
That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
General Walter Janowski, do you wish to cross-examine the defendant?
Mr. Huggins, was that you on the video that we played today?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Were those your statements that you were making to the officer on the video?
Yes.
Okay. And you saw the video in the interview room where, do you recall? Let me rephrase that. You were in the interview room with Agent D'Arcangelo and the other agent, is that correct?
Yep.
All right. And whether or not you signed the waiver that was on video, you heard them read it to you, is that correct?
Yeah, I've seen all that, but my testimony is that I didn't sign that.
Okay,
Now-
but what I'm asking
Yeah.
you is, you heard them read you your Miranda warning.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a video look any way you want to nowadays, just like.
So
what
are you saying that
saying.
this entire video was altered and edited and is not you and not your statements?
No, I mean, not all of it's altered, not all of it. I
Okay.
mean, there's portions that's been altered.
Do you agree that they read to you the Miranda rights
I
on
mean,
video?
that's been 28 months ago. I've been locked up 28 months. So at the time I got locked up and hired Jake, I didn't remember that them reading me no Miranda rights, and that's what I told him when he hired me. I didn't remember that.
But do you remember it now, watching the video?
No, I don't. I don't remember.
All right. I don't.
In which that's what I told Tyler Howard too when we watched it.
Can
Like,
you
I mean,
redirect, Mr. Lockhart? Thank you, sir. You may step down and have a seat with your lawyer. Mr. Lockhart, you may call your next witness. You have any other witnesses?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
State have any rebuttal witnesses?
Hey, Your Honor.
I'll hear you in argument.
Your Honor, in the motion, I cited case law that I believe is applicable. And I would submit it to the court. First, to express all the evidence based on the fact probable cause for a stop. Secondly, drug catchers.
No?
Your Honor, you were able to obviously hear the testimony, see the videos. There's obviously PC for the stop. There was both speeding as well as following too closely here in Dixon County, as well as the fact that Agent D'Arcangelo testified in regards to the speeding and the fact that Mr. Huggins was involved in a wire and he observed a drug transaction. All that had been communicated to the trooper. There was probable cause for a stop. Your Honor, obviously this search involved the smell of marijuana, Mr. Huggins being nervous, and the fact that Mr. Huggins admits there's a joint in the vehicle. So the search, Your Honor, is sufficient. There's a basis for the search due to all of those elements. Also, prior to even searching, Your Honor, Mr. Huggins voluntarily admits that all the items that he had asked about were going to be in the vehicle. In regards to the statements, Judge, I mean, it's all on video. You can see it for yourself. He was read his Miranda warnings. He agreed to it. He signed it on video, and he gave full statements in regards to his involvement in this case, Judge. So I would ask that you deny the motion to suppress.
Well, in determining whether or not there is an illegal search and seizure, the court, first of all, has to determine whether or not there was probable cause for the stop. And while you can isolate the trooper's actions and try to say that he had no basis in stopping the individual, this was one continuous following of a person who was involved in a drug transaction. The proof before the court is that there was a wiretap that was intercepting a communication between the defendant and a suspect that they had under observation for drug trafficking, that information supplied that the defendant was going to come and make a drug transaction. They observed his vehicle there at the target house where they were observing and searching. And after observing what they appeared to be a drug transaction with the target individual carrying something out and putting it into the car, they then began following the defendant's vehicle. As they began to follow the defendant's vehicle and commenced the following in Davidson County on the interstate, the proof was that there was a high speed, more or less, that the defendant's vehicle started traveling an extremely high and dangerous rate of speed. And at that point, the TBI agent then contacted the Highway Patrol after being unsuccessful in getting Metro to step in to try to pull over the vehicle. And under those circumstances, the court found that there was probable cause to stop the vehicle, even though it was probable cause observed by Agent Dark Angel, that the trooper, following Dark Angel's information about the drug transaction being involved and the speed of this vehicle, pulled the vehicle over with probable cause. In addition to that, he did testify in it that he observed the vehicle traveling too closely to the vehicle in front of him, and that he was traveling in excess of the speed limit. The speed limit may have been more of a verifiable reason to stop the vehicle than the following too closely as you get off the interstate. But in any event, this court is of the opinion that under the law, the initial following and chase, if you want to call it that, of the defendant's vehicle, which commenced with observing a drug transaction in Metro Nashville, and then following the vehicle into Dixon County, that the trooper was acting on probable cause information supplied by the TBI agent, and as a result of that, he was entitled to pull the vehicle over and investigate it further. Upon pulling over the vehicle, he smelled the odor of marijuana. That gave him probable cause to search the vehicle further if he chose to do so, and the court would agree that the defendant volunteered a substantial amount of information that would give additional probable cause for the search of the vehicle there on the scene. And as a result of that, I found that the search at the scene was a warrantless search, but it was a search that was accomplished by sufficient probable cause to make it a constitutional search. In addition to that, the motion to suppress as to the search on the scene is therefore denied. In addition to that, the motion to suppress the statements made by the defendant, certainly the statements on the scene were not Mirandized, but by the same token, they were most of the incriminating statements were made by the defendant voluntarily and not as a result of interrogation, in custodial interrogation. Statements made at the drug task force interview, again, when the agents walked into the room and just asked, "How you doing?" the defendant just started regurgitating all of this information about how this all took place and what he should have done and how he should have tossed the drugs out of the window of the car and so forth and so on. That's fairly incriminating. And as a result of that, they stopped him and gave him the Miranda warnings. This court has observed the Miranda warnings being given. The court observed the document being handed to the defendant. The court observed the defendant signing that Miranda warning form. And the court also observed him signing the form for the consent after being discussed with the agents and interviewing him. The court has looked at the two documents, and in this court's opinion, those two documents bear the identical signatures. There's just a difference in the ink that was used, or one is a little bolder than the other, but the signature themselves is identical in this court's opinion. I'm not a handwriting expert, but it appears to this court that those are the same signatures. As far as the other issues that Mr. Hudgens has raised regarding the discrepancies in the videos and so forth, that is not an issue that this court finds is compelling enough to require a suppression of all evidence in the case. Obviously, if there's some problem with the information or copies that were given to the defendant, then that can be resolved by comparison of the information copies given to him before trial. But this court is of the opinion that the motion to suppress should be denied, and therefore I deny the motion to suppress. You can tell when we're here too late when they start turning off the lights. So. All right. Then the court finds that the motion is not well taken and denies the motion to suppress, and there will need to be a written order. General, do you mind drafting an order with those findings? All right, is this case set for trial or status, either one? Well, since I've now heard it, it'll need to stay with me, so we need to, do you want to set it on the May docket, the 13th or the 20th? Which one? 13th? May 20th? It'll be set for status May 20th. If it's not resolved on that day, we'll give it a trial date, so. All right, that concludes our business for
You know what was in that car. A Tennessee courtroom exploded during a dramatic hearing over a traffic stop that turned into a major drug investigation. State troopers testified they were already tracking a silver Honda Civic connected to a suspected narcotics deal before finally pulling the driver over for speeding and following too close. At first, the driver tried acting calm, insisting he only had a small marijuana joint in the car. But the situation changed fast once the trooper started questioning him. The defendant suddenly blurted out, "You know what's in there." From there, the conversation spiraled into a shocking on-camera confession involving marijuana, cocaine, meth, and allegations that he had been set up by someone in Nashville. The courtroom became even more intense when prosecutors played interrogation footage where the defendant openly admitted he had just picked up drugs after leaving a suspected target house already under surveillance by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Investigators testified they had wiretaps, surveillance teams, and prior intelligence connecting the defendant to narcotics trafficking before the stop ever happened. Then came the moment that stunned the room. The defendant admitted he considered throwing the drugs out the window after realizing police were closing in on him. He even confessed he recognized undercover surveillance vehicles following him from Nashville before the stop happened. The hearing turned into a major legal fight over whether police legally stopped the vehicle and whether the defendant's statements should be suppressed because Miranda rights were not immediately given during roadside questioning. Do you think the traffic stop was legitimate, or did police already have him targeted from the beginning?